The second Fantastic Beasts movie got a trailer recently, and with a young Albus Dumbledore being one of the main characters, it looks like it's gonna tie into the Harry Potter series even more than the first one did. Actually, in a lot of ways, the first Fantastic Beasts movie just kind of felt like its own thing. But despite that, there were actually a lot of Easter eggs and references to Harry Potter. Here are Harry Potter Easter eggs you missed in Fantastic Beasts. Or maybe you didn't because you're a hardcore Potter fan. Look at you go. If you're new to the channel, you can hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay up to date with our new videos. First off in the movie, we see that Newt has some Hufflepuff pride going on. When he's arriving in America and makes his magical suitcase seem non-magical, one of the items in it is a Hufflepuff scarf. Colors might be a little faded, but it's clearly Hufflepuff. Also soon after that, the movie gives us a couple of Quidditch references. When Mary Lou thinks that Newt is interested in her crazy little demonstration, she asks if he's a seeker. She meant it in the sense of is he seeking enlightenment or whatever, but Harry Potter fans got the wordplay that the writers were going for, especially when Newt answers that he's a chaser, another position in Quidditch. Also, he literally chases a Niffler, so there's a lot of wordplay. And speaking of Nifflers, this little guy being around isn't necessarily a reference that you'd get if you've only seen the Harry Potter movies. In the Order of the Phoenix book, Lee Jordan releases a couple of these into the office of Dolores Umbridge. Nifflers aren't the only fantastic beasts we've heard of in Harry Potter though. First off, there's mention of Ukrainian iron bellies, the same kind of dragon that Gringotts use for security. Also, Newt has a little bowtruckle friend named Pickett who hangs out in his pocket. These little guys are mentioned as a subject that Harry will have to study for the Owl exam. In the Deathly Hallows Part 1, Hagrid also mentions them when he says this: "I brought you here 16 years ago when you were no bigger than a bowtruckle." Those things are also known for stabbing people in the eyes, which is a horrible way to die. And speaking of horrible ways to die, I'm really pushing these segues, aren't I? There's a scene in Fantastic Beasts where Newt and Tina are sentenced to death by some kind of acid death poison or something. And the way that they're lured to their death is probably pretty familiar to Harry Potter fans. To subdue the person that's sentenced to death, it seems like the idea is to pull a happy memory out of them to lure them into this kind of deadly version of a pensieve. You may remember that Dumbledore used one a few times throughout the later films. His version was a lot less deadly though. And speaking of deadly, I did it again with the segue. This is pretty much the most obvious Harry Potter reference in the entire movie. Leta Lestrange. That last name should send shivers down your spine. Leta Lestrange is gonna play a bigger role in the second Fantastic Beasts film, and she's clearly related to Bellatrix Lestrange, who is super incredibly evil and deadly in the Harry Potter books and movies. Then there's Tina. Now she's not really a reference to Harry Potter per se, but hardcore fans that have read the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them probably figured out that she's Perpentina Scamander, Newt's future wife. And their grandson does get married to Luna Lovegood, so there is kind of a connection there. Then finally we have a Deathly Hallows reference. When Percival Graves is reassuring Credence, he gives him a necklace that has the symbol of the Deathly Hallows. And speaking of Percival Graves, that's the last awkward segue, I promise. His name itself is kind of a weird Harry Potter reference. See, Percival Graves is also the name of a character in the movie King Ralph. I know that doesn't seem like a Harry Potter reference, but bear with me. In that movie, Percival Graves was played by the late and great John Hurt, who you might recognize as Ollivander in the Harry Potter movies, the dude who sells Harry his wand. Let me know in the comments section if there are other Harry Potter references I missed. And are you looking forward to the new movie? What did you think of the trailer? If you're watching this on our Facebook page, you can hit that link to jump over to YouTube and subscribe. You can also check out ScreenRant.com for the latest movie and TV news. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.